All right, let's try this again. Everybody, I'm what messed up the thing. Everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey, everybody, Cantonese Cat here. I still can't see the chat, but I'm just gonna have to make it do here. We'll figure out what I can do here. But I'm gonna try to go back and forth to see my I guess my YouTube stream as well as the actual YouTube video itself. So if you guys feel free to leave comments. I'm going to try to get back to you if I have to go a little bit back and forth here. Welcome, pre-Thanksgiving. So I'm going to be gone really starting tonight. I have limited internet capabilities and all that, going to the land of the cats. I'm probably going to show you some pictures and whatnot. It's a very fantasy world I'm going to. But yeah, I'm going to be gone, probably be gone this week and next week. And I will take a look at GME. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. There's really not much really that worrisome on the higher time frame of GME. Very bullish, actually, as far as I'm concerned. Let me see if my sound setting is looking okay here. Let me turn on. There you go. My mic should be louder now. All right. So let's talk a little bit about a few things here. Somebody asked me about GME, so I'm going to get right start into it because I am pretty bullish on it. There's really nothing bearish about this chart here at different time frames, to be completely honest. Just looking at initially, everybody's kind of got really disinterested in this pump and dump, and they think it's not going to go up again. But this is basically a higher high, and this is a higher low. It looks like it wants to just keep going higher, which is kind of what I anticipated it to do, is riding up the weekly tank and on the way up to a really thin cloud here. I think it's going to probably push through the cloud. On the 2-week chart here, you can see that it is hitting a little bit of resistance here at the top of the Ichimoku cloud here. Probably Ichimoku cloud right now is around 30.84. So you can see why, if you end up having a little hard time pushing through, that might be why. Now, this candle over here is going to close by Friday. So we'll see. If it ends up closing about the 2-week Ichimoku cloud, then to the moon we go. If not, then we might need to kind of, wait a little bit longer. Maybe we can potentially need to come back down and back test some stuff before going out higher. But so far, it's a very positive development, because last time what happened was on the last cycle, whenever it really challenged the 2-week Ichimoku cloud here, what you're going to see here is really what's looking down here. Let me see. Yeah, really what happened last time was you have this breakout of the 2-week Ichimoku cloud. You did have a back test here, and then after that, to the moon we went, right? And right now we're at the juncture where we're about to potentially break out the 2-week Ichimoku cloud. You might end up having a little bit of resistance, or you might end up pushing through and back test it before going up higher. But this is a very, very much of a bullish trend here. Like, you remember last month I was talking about how this trident here is very, very bullish bottom. Certainly worked out with a very, very nice November candle. Certainly we're going to have some resistance up here around 37. I mean, currently it's resistance 2 on the 2-week Ichimoku cloud, but above that 37, and then also 48, and then around 60, 61, somewhere around there. Those are going to be like your key levels. Regardless, the trend is very beautiful. It looks like it's building all that energy trying to push through those resistance levels above, because you have a negative sloping 20-month moving average that has curled positively now. You have the monthly Bollinger Band expanding. If you're also looking at other indicators here too, I don't generally look at this that much, but this is like Danny's whale indicator. You can see how it's just really been, very, very bullish. A lot of whales have entered, close to 70% now. And the retail has been really like slowly just kind of drilling here over the last half a year or so. If you look at a weekly, it looks even better. Look at a weekly, it looks like you have a Bollinger Band expansion here. We are a little bit overextended here on the weekly, but things stay overextended for a long time. I'm not really bothered by this. No retail at all here for the last 3 weeks. Very, very strong, powerful trend going upwards. We are hitting resistance, and I just show you the resistance levels, but I think we're probably going to have enough energy to really push through all those things above. The other thing I want to show you too, I think this might be better illustrated on the daily chart here. If I just do a Fibonacci level from up top to the bottom over here, you can see that over the last few months, really since May up to now, we've kind of gone down and we've kind of backtested a lot of these different levels. We've been trying to break above the 0.236 here. It was resistance here. We broke through about finally, right? And then now, last time we are trying to break through the 0.382 here, we're not able to over here. We're kind of broken down over here. We're stuck between these two fib levels, and then got rejected here, and lower we go. Right now, we're over that. We reclaimed the 0.382. So I think GME is going to do pretty decent moving forward, but it does have different resistance levels that I'm kind of showing you here, right? Start with the 2-week, and then also start the monthly. I just told you about those numbers. I think it's silly to take profits. I guess if you're a trader like short-term moves, great, but to me, I think it's a little bit maybe silly to kind of take profits here on a potentially very powerful bull trend. It's just breaking above the 0.382. If it breaks above 0.382, what it usually means is it's probably going to hit the 0.618 with a little bit of resistance in between, like around 37 resistance. 40 is probably going to be where it's going to gravitate to. And then the bottom of the cloud here is just going to be probably where it's going to gravitate to before some major resistance is being felt here around like the high 40s, basically. All right. Push through that, all-time highs, potentially. Well, not all-time highs. Push through that, you're going to push through about this high over here, and go a lot higher, right? Now, if you're looking at the last cycle here, that's going to give you a lot of different numbers over here, right? Going to push down here. You can see that the 0.618, if you look talking about the last cycle high to the cycle low, 0.618 is around $46.53. Regardless, I think high 40s is going to be like a key resistance level here. I think it's probably going to push get to the high 40s, and then we'll talk, right? After push to high 40s, $70. After pushing $70, triple digits. When is that going to come? I don't know. Is it going to come? Well, it depends on whether or not you can push through these levels, right? But looking at the way that the Bollinger Band is expanding on the upper and lower on the monthly, I think it's feeling something very powerful. Last time we had a test pump, it really couldn't push even to the 0.786. It tried, couldn't get there because it was just way outside the upper Bollinger Band. And then a month after, they tried to push to 0.6 when they got rejected there too. Hovering around here, building a lot more energy. Had to try and look to it, probably going higher. I'm optimistic. I have a position, not big, but I'm happy about it. I do want to talk a little bit about you're talking about volume shelf. Yeah, I think so. That's actually confluence with the 2-week Ichimoku cloud around $31, $32. So I think if it pushes above, then it's probably going to go up to like the 40s, the high 40s. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, GME. Who knew? Who knew I'd be in GME? I definitely did not think that was going to be earlier in the year. That's for sure. I'll take a look at this real quick. STX here. If you're wondering about, this is a bullish chart. The question is whether or not it's overextended, whether or not it's going to come back and backtest some of the stuff down below. So if you're going to look at the fib level there, it's basically holding 0.786. If it's able to hold 0.786, then higher you go, right? If it's not, then it's going to go down and backtest is 0.618. So the actual numbers, if you ask me, like risk reward level, you're right at a support level over here, right? If you break down, it's probably going to go to $83. If it breaks out, it's probably going to go to maybe like something like these crazy numbers right here, 171. So yeah, I don't. I think the risk reward seems to certainly be there. The only problem is it does look like the bull trend is a little bit exhausted here on the RSI. So I think that most likely, if it doesn't hold here, $83 we go. If I'm in this, I'll probably just keep holding because there's a possibility that this support level holds and it just end up beasting from here. But there's also a potential this is a little bit of rolling over. It might come back down, back test some stuff down here below. You can also potentially go down to the monthly cloud, which is going to be close to 0.5 here, around the high 70s. That's kind of where I'm seeing. So those are your risk level. But you can also see that it's trying to hold the support level here on the monthly 10K. Is going to go down further. So to me, I think this is like a hold that buy. I probably wouldn't sell. I just kind of leave it be. That's my real quick thought on that. Now let's talk about some things here that we're going to just get them out of the way, which is Bitcoin, right? There's nothing bearish about Bitcoin on a higher time frame chart here. Like there is Absolutely nothing. Like, this is a monthly chart. This is my GAN. Sure, if you don't believe in GAN, I have other indicators to show you too. But there's nothing bearish about it pushing through an arc, backtesting an arc for like months and then ticking off, right? There's really nothing bearish about that. What happened last time when it did that? Well, it did that here, almost got close to the arc right next there within like 2 years, right? Is it going to get up to the next arc here to like 600,000? I don't think so. I think it's probably going to get up here to the horizontal line over here around 200,000. Probably. Is it, am I absolutist about it? No. Sometimes you can stop short there and it can get up to like 170,000, something like that, and that could be the end of the cycle. Or it could push through. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that I think based on the GAN, it's been working pretty well so far from level to level. Pretty decent GAN here. So I think probably like the next logical target is probably around like 200,000. And the short-term fluctuations where it goes to like from 99,000 to 92,000, 91,000, it really doesn't matter in the long term. Look in the weekly chart here too. What you're going to see here on the weekly is that it got close to my GAN level, didn't really quite hit that right off the bat, but it's okay. It doesn't always have to just go straight up. Like over here, you see like, hey, I think it's going to go to the next arc level over here, but it took about 3 weeks to try to get there, right? All these hammer looking thing before getting there. I think it's going to get there. Probably just needs some time to consolidate sideways here a little bit, but I think it's going to get there. And once you get to the arc, you're basically talking about a 6-figure Bitcoin. That's going to happen. Again, I think it's going to happen. I can't be that deterministic about it. If you don't believe in GAN, we can look at Ichimoku. If you don't believe in Ichimoku, then you should probably not listen to me at all. But the trend is bullish. You had a bullish cross. You had a rising Tenkan here. And the rising Tenkan has really been serving as support during all these bull markets, right? Whenever it ticks off like that, like over here, big rise in Tenkan. Over here, big rise in Tenkan. And Tenkan basically just serve as support throughout the entire bull trend, right? Right now, it looks like we're just starting to tick off. It could go on for a while, all the way to 200,000. I mean, I think that there's nothing really bearish about Bitcoin. There are a lot of theories that we're going to get rejected here and come down to like, to 36,000 or 20 something thousand. I just don't really necessarily buy into that because there's really nothing telling me that the trend is going that way, because we have a very powerful bull trend with a 20-month moving average very strongly rising up. And right now we're starting to get the Bollinger Band expansion. Now, every single cycle, you're going to get something like this. And then I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to be having the same bull cycle here as it does before, because every cycle is a little bit different, right? But in general, there are a few things. One is whenever you have the start of a cycle, you can start having initial downtrend with Bollinger Band contraction, right? And then you're going to have an uptrend here to kind of expand the Bollinger Band here a little bit, right? A little bit initial Bollinger Band expansion, a little bit initial Bollinger Band expansion, and a little bit of initial Bollinger Band expansion over here, right? And after that, you're basically going to have a contraction here, a consolidation here, contraction here, right? Consolidation and contraction here. And then you're going to end up having re-expansion, and the re-expansion can be extremely powerful. And that's the really powerful bull trend of what Bitcoin does. Extremely powerful bull trend. We didn't really quite have the extremely powerful bull trend over here. It didn't really quite get all the way down to zero. Like Bollinger Bands in like Bitcoin bull market generally goes all the way down to like the negatives. We haven't really had that yet. I wonder if that's coming. If it does, great. Because I think that the top is going to be whenever the little Bollinger Band starts to curl up. That's usually the top. Here, December 2017 and April 2021, right? December 2017, that was the top. April 2021, you can argue that that's probably the top, although it did make a little bit of a exhausted higher high here later on. But yeah, nothing bearish about Bitcoin. I think things are probably just kind of blown out of proportion here over the last week, probably because everybody's saying that it's going to go to 100,000. And there are a lot of liquidity down below that they just needed to grab before we get there. Nothing bad, right? Take off the Bollinger Band. I know, like taking off Bollinger Band here. Going to do the daily GAN chart that I've been doing. Initially, I was like, hey, you know what? By the way, this daily GAN also has worked out very beautifully as well. is really just been stuck between these two arcs over here for like 6-7 months, and it broke out. Once it broke out, it just pushed us through this arc and went to the next arc up here, right? Now, what is happening? Initially I thought that, hey, maybe it's just come back down here, maybe it's just going to backtest the angle here. No, end up broken down. Where did it backtest the horizontal breakout level over here around $91,000? It could have had a possibility to come back down and test the 89,500. It did not, right? Because you already back tested over here. And you broke out over here, and you just back testing this horizontal level over here. And right now we pass, and right now things look pretty darn bullish, right? This could be just a wick. I mean, certainly it could just end up getting rejected here at the angle. Even if it gets rejected here at an angle, my original thesis was that it just kind of go up along the angle here to hit the arc. Right. Even if it gets rejected at angle here, I'm not sure if it has to come back down and back test 89,500. If it does, it's not a bearish thing. If it does do that, great, no problem, right? Support level found here. But I think there's a entirely possibility, even if we get rejected here, which there's always a possibility, but again, getting rejected here, then we can still go up underneath the angle. If we don't, then we're going to potentially even build up a descending triangle over here before breaking up. And that could take another couple weeks or so before doing that. I would like to see it really powerfully or truly confirm that it's reclaiming this arc up above. So yeah, we'll see what happens. One thing I'm very, very bullish on, because Bitcoin, like everybody knows what's going to happen. The path is what the question is, really. Like, I think everybody knows that, like, we're at the point that we're about to hit 100,000 is going to get there. Is it going to take the path that you think? Oh, there are a lot of degen longs are going to end up putting a bunch of like leverage positions. They have, by the way, because if you're looking at here on the 24-hour chart, 24-hour liquidation map. I'm going to refresh here. You can see like there are some longs down here, but there are also a lot of shorts that's been building up on the way up here in 24 hours. On higher time frame, there are actually a lot more shorts up above. On the 48-hour heat map, the magnet might be up at like the 96,700. On the weekly, you actually see that the liquidation level is right around 100,000. Right on the weekly, like within a week, unless the price goes up to 100,000, then these degen shorts here, they're going to win. They're really holding a 100,000 resistance level. They don't think it's going to break, so they're actually using a lot of leverage long position, leverage short positions. That's going to get liquidated if price goes to 100,000. That's kind of where it's looking right now, right? I don't know whether there's really any, how should I say that? I don't know. I don't know whether or not there's any like straight path up there, or is it going to like trying to crab its way sideways to trying to like eat all these different leverage positions. But I think the money is like the liquidity is really more or less to the upside. Like I really think liquidity is more or less to the upside here. But anyway, enough about Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is dropping, by the way. It's like everybody's, whenever it's getting above like 60, everybody's like, it's going to go higher. Nah, it actually looks like a very, very much of an exhaustive top over here with Bitcoin dominance. And you're starting to form a little bit of a lower low here. You have a lot of wicks here. You have a descending triangle over here. It looks like it wants to break down. It looks like the Bitcoin dominance wants to break down. Descending triangles are bearish, right? And this whole like dead cat balance kind of thing looks bearish to me. So I think that, but you already knew that because Ethereum is pumping, right? You already knew that because Ethereum is pumping above a lot of really key fit levels. I'm going to do like the monthly chart here because monthly is probably what matters the most. It's breaking above the 0.618 linear fib, which is bullish, right? And coincidentally, that's also around the area of the 0.786 log fib, right? If it breaks about the 0.786 on the log here, then it's probably going to go to all-time high. Over here, you did end up getting a little bit rejected here at the 0.886 here. Initially, I think I was a little bit too bullish on Ethereum. And sure enough, it sniffed out how bullish I was. Ended up coming back down like, nah, you think you would break about the 0.886 on the price action where it's just way above the upper Bollinger Band? Oh, heck no. I'm going to suppress price back down here. I'm going to get you back to the 0.618 here. I'm going to get back to like the rising 20-month moving average here. Back test some stuff. Come back later if you're able to pass 0.618. It passed 0.618 with flying colors, and right now it's just impulsively pushed through all this, engulfing all these like 4 months of bearish price action. And it looks like it wants to get back to the 0.86. But if we're able to convincingly break above, now that we're no longer way above the upper Bollinger Bands right now is like right around the 0.86. I think that's going to be the magnet. And I think it's probably going to ride the upper Bollinger Band to keep going up higher. That's what it looks like it wants to do, right? This cycle actually is more bullish than last cycle. Last cycle, this cycle is pushing to like the 0.86, 0.786, 0.618, right? Last cycle at the same time around like November, we actually weren't doing too hot. We actually, yeah, it's a little bit too much going on here. I'm going to delete that here. We actually were just kind of like pushed through the 0.382 here, got stuck here underneath the 0.618. In November is when we push about the 0.618, and that's when in December we kind of get a little bit rejected at 0.786, right? Once you push through the 0.786, that's when it made to the 1.414 here, and that's when the last cycle ended. You can also argue the last cycle is a little bit weird because there was like a lot of whales are already trying to exit early because they're worried about quantitative tightening, all that. Like you really haven't had quantitative tightening for like decades, right? And now you have talking about quantitative tightening. I think a lot of whales are just really, really scared, so they ended up exiting early. Didn't really push up to some of the higher targets that a lot of people were speculating, and you just ended at 1.414. Well, what happens if Ethereum end up going to 1.414? And yeah, I know it'll be. I have to talk about Ethereum because I have to talk about it before other people talk about it. Because if you're talking about truncated cycle here too, it just gets to 1.414, which actually to me would be reasonable, maybe a little bit of disappointment actually, but it would be almost like a 5-figure Ethereum, which is like a 3x from here. Not bad. I think there's a potential for it to push up to the 1.618, to be completely honest with you. I think 14,000 is a reasonable target. If it pushes above that, then you talk about some of the crazy targets up above. Although I think that these two levels are probably reasonable levels to start taking profit. I think I'm probably going to start taking profit around 1.618 if it gets there, or if it just looks like a little bit exhaustive top here 1.414. I try to monitor like signs and things like that, but I just think so far this bull market is looking more bullish than the last one, just based on FIB level, retracement, because it's getting a little bit more ahead on the FIB retracement. I think it might have a little bit farther legs to go on the upside when it gets to the FIB extensions too. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not bearish on Ethereum, obviously. I'm very, very bullish on it here in the long term, around the next 12 months or so. We'll see how high it takes us. Cue the Creed song. Anyway, Dogecoin. Very happy to talk about Doge. What are you doing? Well, Doge is just kind of consolidating sideways here on the daily chart here after big giant move, right? Big giant move where it got slammed right into the 0.786. A few days ago, everybody got super bullish. Oh, it's about the 0.786 going to move from here. Like, nope. Breaking down, back test the angle, make you wait. How long has it been so far? Let's see, week number, like if this is like the 2 weeks, you've been waiting here for 2 weeks. I don't know if this angle is going to hold. I don't know whether or not it's just going to break up to the next arc here over the next few days. It can break down here to like 36 cents. Last cycle even broke down to the 0.618. I'll show you here in a little bit. So there's still a possibility it breaks down and then goes up a lot higher. They end up wanting to grab liquidity. But so far, it seemed that liquidity for Dogecoin actually, I can pull that here in terms of like the liquidation cascade. There's not really any liquidity like to grab down underneath below. If I look at 24-hour, a lot of the liquidity has also been grabbed upside. There's like it's just probably going to consolidate here a little bit longer before breaking out. I don't think it has to come all the way back down, but it could. But if it does, then hey, more buying opportunity for me. What happened the last cycle here was that it was stuck for a few weeks between the 0.786 and 0.618, right? Before it breaks out. So far, what have we done so far? Let me get rid of the again here temporarily. So far, what have we done? Well, we've just been hovering around the 0.786. That's why I'm saying I think this cycle is actually more bullish than the last one. I think things are actually more ahead. Do I think it has to come back all the way down to 0.618 like it did last time, which is kind of hovering between those two levels? Not necessarily. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder whether or not the cycle is actually going to be more bullish, which is silly for me to say. Come on, stop it. I think some of the targets, like $2.3 or $4, are reasonable. Some of the targets up here above like $11, $24 are unreasonable, but not impossible. I don't care about like the market cap Nazis. I really don't care about any of that. Yeah, I just want to kind of share. Yeah, I did talk a long time, Vivian, about like accumulating um, in less than 10 cents. Even like before it broke out about 10 cents, I was like, and yeah, came back down, gave you another opportunity to load down here underneath 10 cents. I was like, that's probably gonna be the last time you see it, maybe, and I kept buying, and I'm very happy where I'm at right now. All right, let's talk about miners. Actually, before I talk about miners, I want to talk about MSTR. Yesterday, and this is one of those opportunities I'm just like, hey, you know what? I'll take credit for it. Yesterday, I made a post. Everybody was super scared about MicroStrategy. Like, what is MicroStrategy going to do? I don't know. Very scary. What is MicroStrategy going to and is it going to come back all the way down to close the gap? It still could. There's really no reason for it to have to do that because I think that it was just simply way overextended. It needed to cool down. A lot of people are going to call like, his can go cool down all the way down to like 300, 200s. I don't know. It's a very strong bull trend. The next support level was probably going to be like $338, $339, somewhere around there, right? And then that's exactly where, if you look at the daily chart, that's exactly where it found support at, right? I think it went to 338.67, right? Didn't really quite touch it, but it went really close. Right now, I think we're at a pretty decent support. It can always come down here and close the gap. Sure, I'm not saying that it won't, $279.38. Possible. Does it have to? I don't know. All I know is that this is a very powerful bull trend, and the entire time it was just kind of come back to get back and touch the upper Bollinger Band here on a weekly, kind of like how it did over here, right? A little bit way too far overextended, just need to come back down and touch the upper Bollinger Band here on the weekly. No big deal, right? The Bollinger Band is still expanding to the downside, so it's probably still expanding to the upside. I think it probably has some ways to go, but we're just a little bit too far overextended here, and we are cooling off. That's kind of what we're doing. I think we're going to have like another sideways consolidation here for like 6 months. I think we really did that. I don't think I don't think we need to go up that. I don't think we need to like go sideways brutally like we did over here. I think we really did that. So I'm not really that worried about MicroStrategy. Most likely, you'll probably end up going higher, even if it dips down below this fit level, go higher. But a lot of people, a lot of like whales, a lot of big money are probably eyeing this level here. And you knew that. The reaction yesterday was undeniable. So if you're also looking at the volume here, the sell volume is really pathetic. Buy volume increasing, sell volume getting pathetic, right? Going into holiday season, it can do whatever it wants, a low volume. It wants to come back down and close the gap here in low volume. Be my guest. That would be a good area to buy. Increase volume, decrease volume and sell, increase volume and buy. That's bullish. Yeah, not much else to talk about that. Coinbase. Why is Coinbase stuck? Why is Coinbase stuck? Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. The chart's getting a little bit busy here. There's a lot of reason for that. Coinbase is stuck because it is pushing above the 0.786 with flying colors and simply holding off, trying to break about the 0.86 here. Having a little bit of a hard time doing so, right? For 3 weeks in a row, really not able to break above. But it's forming a very, very nice bull flag over here. It's stuck between this angle here and the arc over here. It's probably going to break out above or below really soon. Which way do I think it's going to go? Because the volume on the upside has been extremely powerful, I think probably some bullish continuation. If it breaks down underneath the angle, you still have to arc down here as support. Maybe you might consolidate down here a little bit further. It could even potentially backtest the 0.786 here around $245. And all of these consolidations would be extremely excruciating for my CoinL because of decay. But that's okay. I'm going to keep going on to my CoinL because I don't care. Because I see it breaking above this within maybe later in the year, if not Q1 of 2025. And it's probably going to go up to higher prices. My target up here is around 800. That's my first target. If it pushes through 800 like it's butter, then you're talking about potential 4-figure Coinbase. I'm saying that because I'm extremely bullish on altcoins, on Ethereum. I just show you some of the targets that I have for Ethereum. So if Ethereum does well, if altcoins does well, 800's actually pretty easy. Coinbase made a 10x within a period of like 15 months. So like I'm honestly not. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna shut up there. But those are kind of my levels. There's really like not much bearish on a longer time or high time frame on Coinbase. Even the weekly Tenkan indication are rising up to the 0.786. You're starting to have a lot of support levels that are rising up to the 0.786. If it does come back to 0.786, even the Bourne support band is going to be up there, right? It's just a lot of support. I'm not worried. If I'm looking at the monthly chart, like how can you be bearish here? Big giant volume buying after a trident look to it. Last time you had a trident, it kept going up a lot higher, right? The time before that, you had a little bit of trident here, you have a little bit of Shreezer here, just kept on going up. These are very bullish market structure. You're just talking about, you're breaking about a very important resistance zone over here. Price went sideways over here for like 4 or 5 months, right? We got rejected here. It came back down, back to 0.618. Now you're pushing through above, and it's probably going to go a lot higher. Even the Bollinger Band is telling you that it's going a lot higher. Why aren't we just going to the moon right now? Well, because the monthly upper Bollinger Band is at $299.46, right? You don't want to be too overextended, but 20-month moving average is re-accelerating to the upside. And the upper Bollinger Band is going up, and the lower Bollinger Band looks like it's done contracting. It's probably going to go down, and the buying volume is going up. Like, I mean, like, come on, guys. Come on. Weekly, why are things not going up higher? Well, because the Bollinger Band needs to expand. Going sideways 3 weeks here, got you back inside the Bollinger Band here. That's going to actually allow you more room for you to go up higher. So not bearish, okay? Clean Spark. What the heck is it going? What is it doing? Why is it doing like an inside candle after inside candle after inside candle? Like, what is it doing? Engulfing candle, bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing. Like, what the heck is it doing? To me, I think that Clean Spark, because of this vicious downtrend that it had from July all the way to September, you do need a little bit a longer time for Clean Spark to repair its technical as compared to the others. The reason why I say that is because the 20-week moving average has really kind of been negative sloping for a long time. You got rejected here. There's a potential that it wants to go sideways a little bit longer. It might even come back and back test the Bollinger support band here, which I'm going to show you is right there, right? It already came back and back tested it, but it's trying to flip it from negative sloping to positive sloping. It's still flat. The market probably doesn't trust this as a bull trend yet based on algorithmic speaking, because it's flat here, and we probably want to have a little bit more sideways action to really get it totally flat and then even up curling here a little bit over time when some of these prices over here are no longer taken into account on these like 20-week and 21-week moving averages before going up higher. That's what I think. But yeah, I mean, this is not a bearish chart. You just reclaim the Bollinger support band from resistance to support. You are having a little bit of a bearish engulfing, but the volume so far is pathetic, you know. So I'm not going to take that into that strong consideration here. And on top of the weekly, like it's not looking as strong here, is because it's also underneath the weekly Ichimoku cloud resistance. We broke down underneath of it, and then you try to break back above. And so far, we spent 3 weeks trying to break above, and we're not able to do that so far. And then in addition to weekly, also at a monthly, you know, resistance here. You're talking about the Kijun, you're talking about the Tenkan, you're talking about the bottom Ichimoku cloud. But you have increasing volume coming in, after a pathetic declining in volume over here on this sell-off. So I think it's probably gonna end up pushing above and probably just gonna have to keep, pushing the cloud for real this time and gonna go higher. A couple other things too, if I'm gonna get rid of the Ichimoku, well, if you look at the Bollinger Band, it's bullish, right? 20-month moving average support from resistance to support bullish. It was way outside the upper Bollinger Band here. It just simply couldn't get too far above because of that. There's really nothing like too entirely um, bearish here. It was just overextended last time. Doing of some of the key Fibonacci levels here, got rejected here off of the 0.786 perfectly, broke down underneath the 0.618. Now you're breaking back above after finding support here on rising 20-month moving average. As long as this month closed about the 0.618, as long as this month closed about $12.56, I probably just jinxed it, didn't I? As long as the month closed about 0.618, then it's probably going to end up gravitating back up to the $21 range, right? Last time we just way overextended. This time, the upper Bollinger Band right at the 0.786, right there. So it's probably going to be able to push back up to like $21.50. That's probably going to be another battle there to fight. But if you have continued that increasing volume like we have over the last couple months, then it's probably going to push through. Once you push through, final boss 0.86. After that, craziness. After that, craziness. You're talking about breaking above the top of the Ichimoku cloud. Well, it depends on where it hits the top of the Ichimoku cloud. Over here is around at the same level as 0.786, which is also why I think 0.786 is a very important level. Right? Break above that, get through 0.86, which is going to be like the final boss, and you're talking about some like crazy all-time high crap. And we'll get there when we get there. If you're talking about like specific levels, I keep sharing this. I mean, there's a potential where it just end at the 1.236, around $90. That's possible. It could even get to like maybe 75 or something like that, and it could end the cycle. That's possible too. Or some of the higher levels up here around like 160, depending on how crazy Bitcoin goes, depending on how crazy the stock market goes, right? IWM still hasn't hit his all-time high yet. Last time I checked, yeah, it still hasn't hit his all-time high yet. It has to get past like 244 point something before going there. So yeah, these are small cap stocks. It probably is waiting for the same liquidity to come in before pushing through. And so far, it's building a lot of energy. So far, there's a lot of volume to support further bullish continuation here. So not bearish, right? But it simply was just waiting for technicals to kind of catch up. Bollinger Band is probably going to be allowing price to kind of do what it needs to do, moving on up, right? Mara, what is it doing? It's bullish. It's very bullish. I don't know how else to say this. Trident here, rising 20-month moving average, 20 moving average service support is pointing up again, reaccelerating. Price is currently gravitating into the upper Bollinger Band here on the monthly, around $27. So far is just having a little bit of a hard time pushing through. That's okay. This is a very bullish chart, increasing volume here on this uptrend. I don't know what else to say. Like right now, why isn't price just going to the moon right now? Look at the weekly Bollinger Band is way above the upper Bollinger Band here. It's just consolidating sideways, waiting for the Bollinger Band to expand so it can go up higher. So far this week has like not much volume. Today is like the third trading day for a short week. I think the market is closed tomorrow. Friday is only open half day. It's going to be super low volume, right? So what you really need to pay attention is this is the real move. The big volume move last week was the real move. It expanded the Bollinger Band, and now price is going to go higher. I think that if we are able to just break above the zone over here, then it's going to go a lot higher. Like I'm not concerned about Mara here at all. If you're if you're comparing between this and like Dogecoin, or if you're comparing this to like Ethereum, or you're comparing this to like Bitcoin, you might be disappointed in the short term. But I think once it's still working on its technicals, right? While it's still kind of stuck between the 0.618 and 0.786, it's just not going to be that crazy bullish. Once you push through the 0.786, once you push through the monthly Ichimoku cloud here, right at the 0.786, around $41, then you're talking about some like pretty crazy stuff. Then you're talking about some potential highs here in like the triple digits, right? 181, 325, but we're not there yet. We just, and this cycle might be different compared to last cycle. We may not get a moon sling like this, right? We might end up having a more methodological price mover up, and we might end up just hitting maybe we beat like this previous cycle high here and not go too much higher. That's also a possibility, right? Or volume just comes in like this, and you break the 0.786 and you break the 0.886, and you just keep on mooning up here and just become really crazily irrational. I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm positioned in a small cap stock that has extreme volatility, that is in a bull trend, that looks like it has enough volume to break through some key resistance, and the underlying assets, which is going to be Bitcoin, and also the underlying correlation. This is a small cap stock, so Russell 2000 IWM. All those things look extremely bullish. So I think that there's a good chance Mara can do some pretty irrational things, but I just don't know, right? I'm just showing you what I got. That's all. Bitfarms. What is Bitfarms doing? Why are you disappointing? Why are you lagging? Well, it's just lagging. I don't know what else to say. Because if you look at the technicals, it's actually not a bearish chart. I'm going to turn off all those indicators here. I'm going to turn off the Ichimoku cloud here. It's not a bearish chart because it's simply back testing a very important horizontal level here around $2. That's all it really is doing, just testing $2, right? Very important level here, very important level here, very important level here, very important level here. Finally back testing it. We're starting to have volume coming back. We're starting to have volume coming back, but there's a lot of resistance here, right? So it's lagging, technically speaking. It's unfortunate it's lagging, technically speaking, but it's lagging. What can I say? It's also hitting resistance here at the arc. You can see how this Gantt chart that I drew, pretty good market symmetry, right? Arc to arc, angle to angle, arc to arc, angle to angle, arc, 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 right? Rejection, rejection, rejection. But so far, the rejection is not as severe as last time, right? So far, on the third week in a row, you still just kind of get into the halfway of this green candle over here. Huh, interesting. Interesting. Does it mean that we're trying to break above the arc here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times? Is the 5th time a charm? I don't know. You're getting into a pretty strong support level here, $2 again, and you're trying to push through a resistance level here that you've been trying to do that about like 4 or 5 times now. So, yeah, I'm gonna stay optimistic with Bitfarms. I don't really feel strongly about adding here. I have enough Bitfarms. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. If you are looking at the FIP levels from the all-time high to the cycle low, you can see it's also underneath the 0.618. So it's lagging Mara, it's lagging CleanSpark, it's lagging a lot of the other miners. And I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I'm not gonna enter more. I'm not gonna, sell and try to buy some other things. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. That's all. CIFR. I actually love the CIFR chart because you can really see what it's doing. Like even though it looks like probably just kind of going sideways and do nothing, but if you add again, if you also look at the volume, it's extremely bullish. It's just trying to push through this arc here. We pushed through this arc here convincingly the second time. First time, false breakout. Never mind, came back down. Second time, convincingly. Came back down, back test the horizontal here. So far we're passing. Probably going to grab it up here to the arc around like, $11 to $12. That's probably where price is going to go. All it needs is just a little bit of volume. On the volume up here from like $2 all the way up here to like $7 was on very, very big volume. Every single time when it has a downtrend, it was on low volume. Like none of these are committal. Well, they're reaccumulating over here. I can show you like the Fintel IO data, but it doesn't matter. Like the institutions are accumulating over here. Coming back test down to this horizontal level, passing on low volume. If it breaks down, $5 down here at the confluence zone at the arc and the angle here would be a big buy zone, right? I would be personally very, very interested. Yeah, that's CIFR IREN. Oh, actually, let me go back to CIFR here. A couple of things to talk about CIFR here too is the levels, right? You do a FIP level, you can see how bullish it is. It's just simply trying to break above the 0.76. It's been having a hard time to do so. Here. You know why it's having a hard time to do so? Because you break above the 0.76, then you open the possibility of having some high, like some all-time high crap if you're breaking above the 0.76, right? The final boss is going to be 0.86. You also have an arc here, so probably going to gravitate to 10, 11, $12. I think it's going to break the 0.786 soon over the next couple months, right? And then some of the levels up higher would be important levels up here above. You break above all that, all-time high crap, 20s, 30s, 70s, sure. If it doesn't, well, the cycle's over. Just see how it reacts, right? But look, so far, it looks like big accumulation zone here. Crazy buy volume, pathetic sell volume. I see you guys. I see you, market makers. I see you. Okay, I see you. IREN, what is IREN doing here on a weekly chart? Well, IREN is simply just kind of losing a little bit of juice over here. Couldn't really quite hit the arc up here. Kind of went back down to the arc below, building up a lot of energy, trying to push back through, right? During the entire trend, all the way from $6 all the way to 12 here, was on increasing volume. This is surprising that IREN is like plus 26%, whatever. No, it's not surprising at all. Should you be like super bullish now that it's up like 26, 27% today? Maybe. It's probably going to gravitate up to your 0.76, getting a little bit closer to key resistance here, which you got rejected over here last time, right? That's why I didn't get all the way up to the arc, is because of a strong fit level resistance here, right? You broke about the 0.618 over here, back tested the arc, very, very nice back test. So it's probably going to have enough energy to push through the 0.786 here, but you might end up getting stalled here. It pushes through, maybe a little bit stalling here at the arc, and then break through final boss, $19.35 to an all-time high stuff. I would say this is like a hold for me. I would not buy anymore. Pretty much like that applies to like all the miners, unless if like CIFR, if it breaks down to like $5, like down, well, yeah, down here, not down here, down here, then I might add a little bit more. IREN, I'm good. I mean, it's going to do its thing. I'm not going to chase. I hate chasing, right? Now, what is why is CIFR like not going up a lot higher? Why is it not mooning it? Why can't it just bring about the 0.76? Well, because you're still waiting for the weekly Bollinger Band to expand, right? And on top of that, you're still waiting for the monthly Bollinger Band to expand, right? Same thing with IREN. Why can't it just go to the moon? Well, there's a reason for that, because you're still waiting for the monthly Bollinger Band to expand. Last time it just got way too far, way too fast. Had a tweezer coming back down for a trident, range bound here, waiting for Bollinger Band to expand. Right now it's expanding. So yeah, nothing bearish about IREN. Same thing with the weekly. Why can't it just keep going a lot higher today? Well, because it's hitting the Bollinger Band resistance here, right? It's squeezing, telling you maybe a bigger move is going to come soon. Kind of like how it's squeezed over here, big move comes soon. It's squeezing, but it's at Bollinger Band resistance. Where do I think it's going to go? Well, I mean, judging by the fact that Bollinger support band has been reclaimed for resistance to support, judging by the fact that this whole uptrend over here was on increasing volume, and yeah, which part do I think is going to go up, or is it going to go down? Judging by the fact that looking at the monthly here is on the upper Bollinger Band, it looks like it's just kind of want to ride up higher. Which way do I think IREN is going to go after it's done consolidating sideways over for a few months? I don't know. WULF, extremely bullish chart. The low Bollinger Band is already extending all the way to the downside here. Is already riding the upper Bollinger Band all the way up. Why isn't it just mooning? Why is it only up like 3% today? Well, this is a little bit of a different explanation from CleanSpark. CleanSpark still needs to work out its technicals because of how bearish it was over the last 3 months. WULF, it has to work out its technicals because of how bullish it was over the last year. It simply just cannot get too much further out until the Bollinger Band continues to expand, right? And it's working on it. It's working on it here on the monthly. It has been working on it here on the weekly. So if you're bought like when prices are like, oh, it's super bullish, you're bought way outside the upper Bollinger Band, then you're probably doing it wrong. Now it's kind of back inside here, back test the horizontal breakout zone over here. Yeah, I mean, this is a bullish chart. I mean, I don't know. Same thing though, right? It's gone up a lot on increasing volume, mind you. I think it's going to keep going up a lot. If you want to buy, I guess you can. Not financial advisor here. I don't know. Am I going to buy? No, I already got a position. I'm just going to let do its thing. But yeah, WULF is bullish. If you're looking at the fib levels, let me see here. I don't have a GAN here. Interesting. But if I do the fit level here from that high over here to that low over here, you can see also another reason why it's not breaking out is because it's underneath the 0.618 Fibonacci level, getting rejected here. Screaming it wants to go higher, but it's just underneath resistance levels over here, right? Screaming it wants to go higher on the monthly too, but well, that's a 2-month chart. On the monthly chart, right? But yeah, getting rejected here is 0.6678, waiting for a bullish event to expand up there so you can push through. A really bullish chart. BTBT, it's bullish, increasing volume on the way up. I don't care if it does like these like negative 10 or 15% day. It's probably going to get reversed like nothing. You know, these miners can give you 20, 30, 40% days. Like it's nothing. BTPT is also like a little bit smaller market cap. They also have a lot of exposure to Ethereum. I think it's just waiting for bullish band here to expand so you can push through the horizontal gain level to get up to the next level over here, which is double the price where it is now. Crazy volume to support that. A lot of institutional accumulation. I know that from Fintel as well. Nothing bearish about the chart. Ichimoku looks like it wants to hit the arc here. Looks like it wants to hit the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud over here. Nothing bearish about this chart here at all. It just has to break through the current level. But I think it has enough energy to do that because you had a bullish cross here in Tenkan Vision, and right now Tenkan is pushing price up higher, and you're probably going to end up having some increased volume to be able to do that. Still underneath resistance though, so I suppose you can be a little bit patient with it. I'm still kind of accumulating here, to be honest with you. From top here to the bottom, looking at fit levels, well, you got to break above the 0.618. It could wake above here, might get rejected here. Underneath, might hover around here for a little bit longer, waiting for a bullish band to expand a little bit further before pushing through. So this might be a little bit of maybe a little bit of like a Q2, Q3 type story for 2025 potentially, right? I just think the cycle is like slower for whatever reason. CORZ, a lot of people ask me about CORZ. What do I think about CORZ? I think CORZ have hit this. I don't have much to chart here, by the way. So weekly here, CORZ has been going up on declining volume. Should I be worried? Probably not, because it's still a bull trend. It is hitting some resistance here though. Like if it's going to correct sideways, this is probably going to be the area where it's going to do it. You see how it corrects sideways over here at the arc. We're going to the next arc here. We'll see how Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin shoots up, maybe it just pushes through and goes up and doubles, right? But I just have a hard time seeing it pushing through because declining volume, because it's hitting an arc over here. So that's what I'm seeing. But again, not a bearish chart. It's just waiting for Bollinger Band to expand here a little bit too. And also, if you're looking at the RSI, initially I was really worried about bearish divergence. Now I'm still worrying about bearish divergence. So you can see how price can go up like this, and the RSI didn't really make a higher high. It could keep going up on bearish divergence, so that's the thing. But if you're talking about like resistance level, we're at right now, and we don't have the volume to necessarily support like a huge breakout to the upside here. But sometimes all you need is just a little volume to come in, volume trend, and really get a lot higher. I don't have CORZ. I don't know how to chart this because they went bankrupt and they came back, and this is a very short duration chart. I don't know how to chart it, so I don't get into CORZ. It doesn't mean that it's bearish. It just means that the trend's a little bit exhausted. So I'm a little bit cautious with it. It'll probably keep going up higher though with the rest of the Bitcoin miners if Bitcoin out of you and does well. RIOT, what do I think about RIOT? Real quick, RIOT just got rejected at 0.5 almost perfectly. As long as it closed the month above the 0.382, which is $11, I think RIOT's going to do fine. RIOT is one of those that has been a huge laggard, but as long as it closed about $11, that would also mean that as long as it closed about 11.226, which is the rising 20-month moving average, as long as you can close about those two levels over here, it will flip this bear trend from bearish to bullish. This is a very, very nice morning star look to it. Very bullish formation, by the way. So I would imagine more bullish continuation for RIOT to come. And I think the next target is going to be maybe like $23 and 0.618. I think it's going to get there sometime in 2024, early 2024. And I also think that that's going to be where the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud over here is going to be. That's going to be a strong resistance zone. So yeah, double from here, and then we'll see how it reacts, right? I mean, I'm not making this up. Like these levels all kind of line up together, right? Why isn't it going higher? Why? Well, it got rejected here at 0.5. Also got rejected here up at Bollinger Band. So does it come back down and back test some of the stuff here, right? If you look at it weekly, actually weekly doesn't look bearish at all. It's just stuck between two fib levels. Came to 0.5. Nope. Came back down. Lots of wicks down below. 0.382, $11. Very good support zone. Right. Probably end up maybe another couple weeks or so, but it probably end up grinding up here early 2025 to 0.618, around $23.44. Finally, I'm going to talk about one more miners because I can keep going on miners and I can get nonstop about it. But yeah, finally HUD 8, what is it doing right now? Well, it's trying to get above the 0.618. We'll see whether or not the week closes above of it. If it does, then that favors for further bullish continuation to get to 0.76. You are having a little bit of overextension here, but the bullish band continues to expand. This is a very, very powerful bull trend. It can potentially have enough juice for it to get to $43.08 before hitting any major resistance. Now, the monthly here also telling you things are overextended here. We're challenging this month at the 0.618 here for the first time. So we might not close the month about 0.618. Next month might be more bullish continuation as the bullish band continue to expand here on the monthly. And on the monthly Shimoku, you can also see 0.786 is a very, very strong level. You can potentially next month getting rejected here, the monthly cloud here, and the month after that pushing into the cloud and hit the 0.786. And 0.786 is going to be a pretty strong, powerful resistance level, probably around $43.08. After you push through that, maybe some all-time high crap. I don't know. You're at resistance at 0.618, and I talked resistance here at the bottom of the cloud, resistance here at the top of the cloud, right? I just gave you the levels. So, yeah, probably time to be a little bit more cautious now. Although I think that the bull trend here on the weekly has enough to probably push through at least to the monthly cloud up here around like the maybe like 30 or like the low 30s. It might have enough juice to push it to 0.76 here over the next 3 months, or it may not. I don't know. But we're at closer to like a resistance zone over here. So yeah, something to think about. Whew. Let me take a sip of water here real quick. How are we doing on this 1 hour live stream so far? Are you guys having fun? I'm having so much fun. I never actually learned how to be a proper influencer. The idea of me being an influencer still baffles me. Which miner would I suggest to get in today if I had to choose one? Not financial advice. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm getting into BTBT. I'm getting into BTBT, and if CIFR hits the $5 zone, I'm getting back. I'm going to load a little bit more into CIFR. I think WULF and IREN can potentially outperform the traditional miners this cycle, but I still don't have. I just don't like to chase. I have like a position in them, but I'm just going to let them do their thing. I now have to see how Bitfarm reacts because I really like think that is lagging behind. I don't know. I'm not going to get into Riot. I'm not going to get into CORZ. I'm probably going to look into adding BTBT. When CleanSpark was like in the single digits, that was a big buy. Now that it's trying to repair its technicals and now we're hitting a bunch of resistance, I'm not going to buy Mara. Whenever like the last, whenever like a couple of weeks ago, you have people freaking out where things are kind of dropping down here in the teens. That was like my last like screaming buy zone. Now that things are getting back to the 20s, I'm probably not gonna like do that anymore. Um, and I also got myself into a pretty decent position on Coinbase. I'm happy about my portfolio. I'm not gonna really like mess around with it too much. There's a potential like late cycle if some of the smaller miners, if they end up turning bull trend, breaking their technicals, and they look like they could moon like late cycle, I might degen a little bit into them. But but I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't allocate too much more into them. I'm naughty. You're naughty. I'm naughty. You're naughty. Anyway, for those people who are like watching this stream later, like what the heck are you talking about? Vivian just called me a naughty cat, which upsets me tremendously. Robinhood. Oh man, it's still getting stuck here. The art. I did a fintech video yesterday for you. For members, I did a lot of Chinese stocks yesterday for members. I'm not going to go through them again, and I think a lot that they're probably going to do pretty well over the next like 12 months or so. And I saw enough from my technical saying, hey, I think China might be bottoming. Sentiments, nobody wants to talk about Chinese stocks. Even like Danny's like hesitant to like share his Chinese stocks, and like there's not really any well signal that he's like really necessarily seeing here. So, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I think China probably like getting pretty close to bottoming based on technicals, based on all that. Check it out if you want. I just anymore. Palantir, what are you doing? Why are you down? Why are you down 2% today? This is so upsetting. Why are you down 2%? Are you going to close the gap? Is that what you're doing? Are you going to close the gap down here? Are you going to upset me? Is this whole bull trend exhausted? Are we going down to zero from here on out? Probably not. I think it's still a bull trend, but the Bollinger Band here is just a little bit overstretched. It's just needed to correct. And we're also getting pretty close to some pretty key resistance levels here, which is if you're looking at the log fib is 1.236, which is $72.63. If you're looking at the non-log fibs here, then you're talking about um, some of y'all's favorite number, which is $69.15. It's getting close to it. So I think it might be decelerating a little bit. It might be range bound a little bit. And it might be doing what MicroStrategy did. What did MicroStrategy do? Well, MicroStrategy hit the 1.618, got rejected, came back down to 1.414, right? I mean, this is a linear scale, and MicroStrategy was a log scale, but that's kind of basically what it did, like, you know, this week. So I can see potentially Palantir could do that, consolidate sideways here a little bit, cool things down here a little bit before further bullish continuation. Or it could end up just, hey, breaking down, close the gap, 1.236, $54.22. That might be where it needs to go before, cooling things off, before going further bullish continuation. I mean, the monthly is just absolutely insane. The monthly is just absolutely insane. Bollinger Band just like pull all the way down to the ground. And right now, the upper Bollinger Band is at $48.27. So yeah, we're a little bit overextended. Do I care? No. I mean, I think that it can stay overextended for a very long time. But I'm not. Heck no. I'm not buying here. I'm just gonna hold what I got. I'm just gonna stay quiet, hold what I got, and see how far it takes me. You're having a little bit of a low volume sell off here on the market. So I'm gonna talk about the market overall. And I'm probably gonna end the stream. I'm gonna start thinking about my trip, maybe to the land of the cats. But the entire thing about the market here is that I'm not bearish on the stock market. I don't think that the S&P 500, I don't think the large caps, I don't think the QQQ has topped. I think they probably have more room to go. And I think that the fear in the semiconductors are probably unwarranted, even though it may not perform as good as some of the degen crazy things over the next few months. Because, well, first of all, I'm just going to go through the SP 500 here. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about NVIDIA. Remind me to talk a little bit about NVIDIA here. Basically, it's just going from arc to arc to arc to arc, right? We broke through this arc over here pretty convincingly. And that means that we're going to keep going up higher, right? You see how the horizontal level over here is resistance, how the horizontal level over here is resistance. The next horizontal level over here is not until like $780, right? Right now, the SPY, the index fund for the SP, it could gravitate up to 780 by the next 2 or 3 years. It can do that. I'm not seeing any gain resistance levels here. Does it have to? No. It can stop short over here, push through above again arc, right? Stop short, came back down, back test the horizontal here, and then push through. Does it have to gravitate up there immediately? No, it can take its sweet time. It can do whatever the heck it wants. But to say that the S&P 500 is top tier, I don't think so because it's got a lot of support down here below. It also has broken above is 1.618. Whenever it breaks above 1.618, generally it gravitates up to the next level, right? It could come back test and scare everybody, but generally it goes to the next level. Like today's sell off is like so amateur. I don't care. Like it broke through the 1.618, came back down, back tested it, and it's bouncing, right? Do I think that this gap has to close? No, I don't think any gaps has to close. I don't care. But anyway, can it close? Sure. If it closed, okay, high or low there, great, whatever. Does it have to? No, it's finding support level here on the Gann arc. It's finding support here at the 1.618 foot level. So yeah, the stock market actually is looking great. What about QQQ? No, I don't want to leave site. What about QQQ? Am I scared about QQQ? Well, did again. What does it look like to you? I have a big giant arrow over here, which means it's going to happen. No, actually, I don't know that for sure. It could totally not happen. It could totally not happen. But the key thing here is that it's just been going from arc to arc to arc all these years. Got rejected at the arc, pushed through the arc, back tested the arc. I think we're going higher. The horizontal here, I really do think that for the month of November, we're going to break through the horizontal. QQQ has done absolutely nothing for months. You know why? It's because it's stuck underneath this Gann horizontal level here. It's also stuck underneath the 1.414. Is trying to figure out whether or not you have enough juice to kind of break through to get to the next level, which is going to be 1.618. If you ever break through that, maybe you get to 2, right? Or maybe you go a lot higher. Where's the next arc? Why am I paying attention to like the arc up here, right? Well, it's because every single time when it breaks above an arc, it just goes to the next arc. Breaks above an arc, goes to the next arc, breaks above an arc, go to the next arc, right? Almost perfectly, by the way. Got rejected here, it came back down to this angle, back tested, now is going to a horizontal level over here, proofs for this arc here. If we ever break the horizontal level over here, which it looks like we're about to, then you're talking about the next arc over here. Maybe over the next 2-3 years, S&P 500 could double. Is it crazy to think about? No, it's just doubled over the last 2 years. Is that a bubble? Does the PE justify for that? Well, it depends. If they're printing money like crazy, which they might, then earnings can go up. that's just anyway. I don't know. I don't know what like the PE scared folks are scared about. IWM Russell 2000. What do I think? It's already flirted with like all-time high. It wicked above previous all-time high already. As far as I'm concerned, this wick over here has already beaten this previous all-time high over here. So it's trying to do all-time high stuff here, guys. It's trying to go to the 1.618 around 300. Trying to do. It's just doing what is necessary to break through. We only have maybe another half trading day beyond today. I don't know whether or not we're going to break all-time high here in November like I thought, because the last November 2020 candle that broke above all-time high was very, very impulsive. Right here, this is also very impulsive because you break above the 0.786 and the 0.86, which means we're going a lot higher. And I'm very excited about that, which means that a lot of the positions that I have in like miners and things like that, they're probably going to do pretty well. But I think we're just waiting for the technicals to kind of work itself out. And yeah, Bollinger Band has to expand, fit levels has to be broken, blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm done talking about that. Now, do I think that the IWM is going to end up outperforming the S&P 500 moving forward over the next 12 months? Probably. I can show you, but I just kind of show you, like, you see how exponential it looks compared to S&P 500 that I just showed you just now. You see, like, this is getting a little bit sloping, downward here a little bit, but IWM is just going. Let me see here if I can show that. IWM is just going like, There is a thing that I wanted to kind of talk about between last cycle and this cycle. I want you to pay attention to November 2020 and November 2024. Right. November 2020, November 2024. Very important. Very similar morphology. And IWM just kind of went beast mode for like months in a row, like for like half a year in a row after it broke out, right? I would say that the IWM went all the way from the bull cycle when IWM, the bulk of it really went from November 2020 to maybe like April 2021. I can argue like March, right? What did NVIDIA do at that time? And a lot of people are like, why isn't NVIDIA going up higher? Why isn't NVIDIA going up higher? Well, you remember what I said, November 2020 to like April or March of 2021, NVIDIA did nothing. Nothing, man. NVIDIA did absolutely nothing. And then as IWM started to get exhausted, NVIDIA just pushed through and made the rest of this, parabolic bull run, right? Hit the horizontal level here, and that was the end of the of the bull cycle, and just had to retrace a lot lower back to the arc, back test it, and then that's when the next cycle happens, right? Am I seeing something very similar here? Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, right now we broke through the arc over here, so we're no longer stuck here, right? But we're kind of ticking off. I think we might be like right around here, maybe. We're kind of trying to tick off. We're hitting the 2.272 fit level here almost perfectly as resistance. It looks like it wants to tick off to the level up here around 350, right? Maybe if it doesn't get that bullish this cycle, maybe the 228 level looks like it wants to get up there. But it could just end up doing like nothing for another like couple of months while IWM just beast mode. That's what it did last cycle. From November all the way to like March, like the IWM just went way up. NVIDIA did nothing, right? So just something to kind of keep in mind. I talked about MSTR already. I'm gonna bookmark it, but if you want me to talk a little bit more in depth about MSTR, I don't have anything new to add to MSTR. All I can say is that I don't think the bull cycle is over for MSTR. It's overextended. I don't think this is necessarily the same thing as this. I think it probably still have another couple months to go, at least, to go up to some of the higher levels, but we're just simply way overextended. If it closes, if the November closes like this, yeah, it's not a great look, right? But that's the difference between over here and over here, is that currently we are still touching the upper Bollinger Band. Over here, we're like, even though you have big giant wick, kind of like the same morphology over here, you know that things have exhausted because price, like the monthly candle is way outside the upper Bollinger Band. Like, that was trouble. I think that it's still touching the upper Bollinger Band, and the upper Bollinger Band is still expanding all the way downwards, right? So I think it's still got some room to go. And I posted on X, I was like, I think it's retracing to 1.414. It might get stuck between these two levels here a little bit. But I think it's probably going to end up breaking the 1.618 and probably going to go higher. How much higher does it get this cycle? I don't know. Is it going to get to like this level over here around like 1300, 2400? I do not know. Like there's no way for me to know. Depends on what Bitcoin does. MSTR also seems to be one of the early cycle runners too. So it's entirely possible that MSTR is just gonna end up getting way exhausted here, push all the way up, do something crazy, and it just gets exhausted, and then money's just end up getting rotated to other things. I don't know if MSTR is going to make these crazy moves anymore from like, $12 all the way to like 190, 200 bucks. I don't know if it's going to make these crazy moves anymore. But it could potentially make another like 4, 5, 6x. Like that would not surprise me. And that would be like some end cycle behavior for MSTR. So yeah, I know. I was making a post about 1.414 here. Rare values all freaking out. I was like, yeah, next support level 338.39. Found support there, bounced up pretty hard. So pretty decent so far. I think the probably going to have some bullish continuation here. Even Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin's just doing what it needs to do. I'm not really like that scared about what Bitcoin's doing. I think I see a lot of correlation between how it went from this arc over here, how it consolidated underneath this arc over here, and how it pushes through this arc and just kind of hang around here, this arc here. Before it got to the arc, you did have like some early momentum lost over here, but you end up pushing through anyway. I think we're a very similar spot over here and here. And I think once we get to the arc, I'm going to see some resistance here at the 6-digit Bitcoin before pushing up higher to the next levels. I think that's probably what it looks like it wants to do. This fractal here is very similar to this fractal over here. So from if it breaks about this arc here, it pushes it to like 2 arcs above. I think that is maybe very similar thing maybe happening here. So I'm not really that scared by like this this week's candle. It's just doing what it's supposed to do technically. So anyway, I think I am. Yeah, I think I'm getting kind of close to the end here. You're not going to get me for another week and a half. You're not going to get me for another week and a half. You guys don't have any. This is it. This is going to be it. Assuming that I'm coming back, I'll come back. Yeah, I mean, like I already talked about altcoins too. I don't really have too much more to say about that. They're breaking out. I'm happy about the way that altcoin season has played out. Happy about how Bitcoin is playing out. The only thing that really hasn't played out and is still a little bit of a mystery and still get everybody guessing is whether or not miners are going to end up outperforming them all late cycle. Nobody knows the answer to that. It's still pointing towards that it will, and I'm still positioned that way. If it doesn't, it's okay. I think Ethereum is doing extremely well. I think my Bitcoin exposure otherwise is doing very well, and I think it's gonna be okay. Well, it depends on if they have internet at the bathrooms. I don't even know what I would want to use as an antenna. I don't even want to speculate antenna in the bathroom. But guys, it's been fun. It always is fun when I talk to myself. Take care. Have a wonderful holiday. I'll be back sometime in December. Take care. Bye.